The moon is more than just a rock orbiting Earth. It's a megastructure, a piece of cosmic engineering beyond our wildest dreams. Today, we're diving into one of the universe's most captivating mysteries, our very own moon. From its strange formation theories and anomalies to ancient myths and startling modern observations, join us as we explore the possibility that the moon might be hiding secrets far greater than we ever imagined. Since forever, the moon has been our nightlight and the reason werewolves have a bad time once a month. But even with all the staring we've done, there's a lot we don't get about it. How did it get there? Why does it look like it skipped some physics classes? And why does it seem like it's not sharing all its secrets? Scientists have been scratching their heads, coming up with theories that sound like they were pulled from a hat. From it's a giant space rock that got lost and found Earth, to Earth burped it out after eating something bad billions of years ago. But none of these theories tick all the boxes. But what about the megastructure theory? What if the moon is not your average celestial body, but a megastructure? Yeah, you heard that right. Not made of cheese, not a giant rock, but a big old space station that ET's parked in our backyard. This idea might sound like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but when you line up all the moon's weirdness, like its convenient orbit, size, and exclusive playlist of Earth tunes, it starts making a weird sense. Is the moon keeping secrets from us? Is it an ancient alien Airbnb? Or is it just the universe throwing us a curveball? But how can traditional science explain the moon's oddities? Let's dive into the mysteries that have puzzled experts for centuries. Before we continue, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more mysteries that explore the unknown. Imagine you're trying to understand a friend, but the more you learn, the more mysterious they become. That's the moon for us. It's been right there, hanging in the sky, but it's full of surprises. Start with digging a hole. On Earth, you dig down and find the past layer by layer, with the newest stuff on top and the oldest at the bottom. Now, take the moon. It's as if it's showing off by doing everything backwards. The surface is older than the stuff inside. It's like it's been through a cosmic mix-up without anyone to straighten it out. Then there's the dust and rocks on the moon. You'd expect them to match, but they don't. The rocks are magnetic, which is a head-scratcher because the moon doesn't have a magnetic personality, so to speak. And these rocks are not just old, they're ancient, holding on to elements you'd hardly ever find naturally on Earth. It's as if the moon is holding secrets from its early days, refusing to share with the rest of the solar system. Digging deeper into what the moon is made of is like finding a treasure chest in your backyard, but with metals you'd use for building something that needs to last forever. Metals like titanium, chromium, and zirconium are all over the place, making you wonder if the moon is prepping for a cosmic showdown or just showing off its collection of space-resistant materials. Now, onto the moon's craters. They all seem to stop at the same depth, as if they've hit an invisible barrier. This isn't what you expect from a ball of rock and dust. It's more like there's a hidden shield underneath. When scientists tried to get answers by crashing a lander into the moon, it rang like a bell. Not once, but every time they tried. This isn't normal by any stretch. It suggests the moon might be hollow or filled with giant caves, not solid through and through. After all the trips to the moon, bringing back rocks and dust, we've ended up with more puzzles than we started with. The moon's lighter than it should be if it were just a big solid rock. This lightness would make sense if it were hollow, adding another piece to the mystery puzzle. Despite being described as a cold, lifeless rock with a long dead core, the moon has a knack for stirring up questions and making headlines. Even more puzzling are the boulder tracks crisscrossing the lunar surface. Some tracks suggest boulders rolled uphill, defying explanations. From Aristotle's time, people have observed strange lights flickering on the moon's surface. NASA acknowledges over 570 unexplained light flashes between 1540 and 1967, sightings that continue to this day. Why, then, have we not returned to the moon? That's a question that gets more interesting with stories like that of Sergeant Carl Wolf. He said he saw photos showing man-made structures on the moon, but NASA kept quiet about it. The pictures disappeared from the public eye, making the mystery even deeper. Then there's the reaction of the Apollo 11 astronauts when they came back from the moon. Instead of looking happy and victorious, they seemed serious and a bit shaken. It looked like they had seen or experienced something big and a bit scary. Trying to understand the moon is like being in a space mystery. The moon has layers that are upside down, rocks that stick to magnets even though they shouldn't, and metals that are super rare on Earth. And when a spacecraft crashes into the moon, it rings like a giant bell. All of this makes it seem like the moon isn't just a simple ball of rock floating in space. But could there be a deeper history, one entwined with legend? Let's explore how ancient myths from across the globe might shine a light on the moon's mysterious past. Long ago, ancient myths painted the moon in stories that sounded like they were from a wild adventure book rather than old tales. These stories match up with a time in Earth's history called the Younger Dryas, known for big changes in the weather. Among these tales, the Zulu legends are especially interesting because they talk about the moon being hollow and home to smart lizard-like beings. According to these legends, the moon wasn't always around. It was brought here by two powerful godlike brothers, a story that's similar to what the ancient Sumerians said about space gods called the Anunnaki. These space gods weren't just said to create humans, but were also considered the moon's builders. What's really cool is how both the Zulu and Sumerian stories, even though they're from different times and places, agree on one big thing. When the moon showed up, it totally changed Earth. Before the moon, Earth was covered in a thick fog with no seasons, just a constant haze. The stories say the moon cut through this fog, leading to huge floods, as seen in many ancient stories around the world. These old myths seem to know about the moon's big role in making Earth the way it is today, how its gravity keeps Earth steady, giving us seasons and tides, which are crucial for life. It's almost spooky how these ancient tales line up with what science tells us, making you wonder if our ancestors knew more about space and the moon than we thought, with their stories of space engineering and lizard people living on the moon. If ancient myths hint at the moon's secrets, what do modern observations reveal? Next, we dive into strange occurrences that challenge our current understanding. Back in 1971, something really weird happened on the moon. A big cloud of water vapor showed up, making a kind of mini atmosphere for 14 hours. The moon isn't supposed to have anything like that. Since then, people looking through telescopes have seen a strange glowing mist over and over again in one part of the moon called the Plato crater. Then there's another spot on the moon, the Aristarchus crater, that sometimes glows blue. People have called it the blue gem because it's so unusual. This has made lots of people wonder what's really going on up there. These weird things happening on the moon are called transient lunar phenomena, or TLPs for short. They make us think the moon isn't just sitting there doing nothing. Even more, pictures from space missions have shown things like big towers and pyramids on the moon that don't look like they were made by nature. But even though these stories are super interesting, they're still just guesses. We don't have solid proof that the moon is a big spaceship or was made by aliens. Yet, these stories and the weird things we keep finding on the moon make us keep wondering. Maybe there's some truth in the old tales, giving us clues about the moon's secrets. All these mysteries make us think maybe the moon is more than just a rock in the sky. Maybe it actually is a spaceship. The old stories, the strange things we see now, and the puzzles we can't solve yet all come together to make us think. What if the moon really is hiding something big?